What's going on, everybody? This is Arcade. Welcome back to another video on Marvel Contest of Champions, and today we're taking a look at one of the biggest issues that I found with this new route mechanic that Kabam has introduced with this month's side event. Now, before starting this video, I just want to point out that this isn't a rant or a critical video just dissing on Kabam for this new mechanic. This video is simply going to showcase the issues that I found with this new cool mechanic, and hopefully Kabam fixes it before they actually end up introducing it in some difficult content like Act 7 and further. Now, that being said, let's just jump into the video. So the first thing I want to point out is right here. As you can see, I'm trying to launch a heavy attack, but the root mechanic is actually causing me to whiff an entire heavy attack even though the opponent is stunned. Now, you may think at first that this is the way it is supposed to be, and this is exactly how the mechanic itself works, but take a look at the description. It says that rooted champions cannot move but can still attack, block, and dodge, which means that even though you're still stuck in one single place because of the new mechanic, your attacks are still supposed to land, and you're still supposed to be able to attack the opponent as you normally would if the root mechanic wasn't in place. Now, that isn't what seems to be happening here, so we'll just move on to the next clip and show you that this isn't a problem with just one champion. So take a look at this Yondu here. I land my first hit, I get root on me, and boom, I get destroyed. Now let's take a look at it again. Now the first hit connects, but the second hit, as you can see, actually whiffs because there's a distance between me and the opponent because of the first hit itself. Now, the way champions are designed, their actual animations create this space while they move across the screen from left to right while making an attack or while taking an attack. So right here, ideally, I wasn't supposed to whiff that attack. Based on what the route description says, even though I'm not able to move, my attacks should still connect. Now, as you're going to see here one more time, he's going to parry me, and I'm going to again whiff this attack right here. So take a look at this. I actually run out the clock, and boom, my attacks just totally miss even though he's right there in front of me. And if it wasn't for that root mechanic, I should actually be able to punish a champion that I have just stunned with the parry mastery. Now, I don't know why this is happening. I think it's something to do with the little bubble that the root mechanic is creating, and it's actually restricting champions from actually being able to attack outside that bubble and complete their animations. Now take a look at this champion here. We're taking Colossus against Gwenpool. Now Colossus is a parry heavy champion. When he parries, he actually shoots the opponent across the screen. So take a look at this right here. Now, as you saw, my first hit actually connected, but as soon as the root mechanic triggered, my second hit completely whiffed, which made the opponent think that it's an opening, and they completely burst into me. Now, I do not think this is something that is supposed to happen, and the root mechanic specifically says that's not the case. Now right here again, as you saw, I got completely destroyed even though my second hit is supposed to connect. My first hit landed perfectly. Now my second hit would have connected if I wasn't actually rooted, but since I was, Nebula saw this as an opening and completely destroyed me. Now you might think this is something to do with just a couple of light and medium attacks with certain champions, but let me assure you that's not the case. Right here, as you can see, a complete heavy attack just gets whiffed out of thin air just because I'm rooted. And as you can see, his back is up against the wall, which means there really isn't any space for him to back into, which means my heavy should 100% have connected there. Now take a look at this final fight here. I'm trying to play as aggressively as possible due to all the issues I've had with root, so I'm trying to think that I'll get my counter above 10, and at the same time I'll try to time my animations from my special 2 perfectly with the counter of the root mechanic itself. So right here, as you can see, there's too much distance between me and Electra for me to consistently connect my SP2, so I'm going to back off, re-parry, and try to land a few hits, and boom, as you can see, both my light and medium attacks are completely whiffed even though she's stunned right in front of me. And I think this is one of the biggest issues that players are going to face with this mechanic itself. They're not going to realize, because in that split second you might end up thinking that this was actually your fault, but it's actually the animation itself that's causing Electra or any other champion to not connect the hits that your champions are trying to make. And I think Kabam should really attend to this issue before they actually come up with the second iteration of this mechanic, or before they introduce it in any high level content or in any champion. Right there, as you can see, I try to hit into her block so that she doesn't end up connecting another heavy attack to this, but it completely whiffed out of thin air, man. And I think that for many people, if they're stuck against this kind of champion with this amount of health left, that could actually cause them to die in something like Alliance War, or maybe even high tier content, and end up causing a lot of units or resources, which really shouldn't happen, because I think this mechanic is super cool and I think that we should see more of such mechanics. Hopefully Kabam addresses this and is fixed before we see this again. That's all I have for you guys in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Please share this video with your friends and alliance mates, and let me know in the comments what you thought about the new route mechanic, whether or not you enjoyed it, and what issues you've been facing while trying the mechanic. That being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.